6 minutes. That's how long Officer Martinez had before the garbage truck arrived at Willowbrook Apartments in Raleigh, North Carolina. 6 minutes before, 5.5 pounds of pure MDMA disappeared forever. The January wind cut through his jacket as he sprinted across the parking lot. The surveillance team had been watching Amanda Troll for 8 months, but tonight, Martinez was flying solo on a hunch. He tears open the first yellow bag. Kitchen scraps, cat litter. The second bag felt different, heavier, chemical smell. Inside, crystalline powder catching his flashlight beam. Pure MDMA. Street value over $200,000. This wasn't just drugs. This was the thread that would unravel the most sophisticated mail-order drug empire the internet had ever seen. An empire run by a ghost, calling himself Liston is here. For 3 years, he stayed invisible. Thousands of packages flowing across borders, millions in cryptocurrency, perfect anonymity, until one bag of trash changed everything. But this story starts 2 years earlier, in a Staten Island gym, with a construction worker who thought he was buying steroids. Anthony Coronati's routine never changed. 5 a.m. wake-up call in his Staten Island apartment. Construction site in Brooklyn by 7 a.m. Gym on Richmond Avenue by 6 p.m. Protein shake at the same deli. Home by 9 p.m. At 28, he'd lived this cycle for 6 years. The only variation was his quarterly trips to a warehouse in Queens for steroid pickups. When his supplier disappeared, panic set in. Mr. Staten Island competition in 4 months. Without testosterone and growth hormone, months of sculpting would vanish. His workout partner at Powerhouse Gym mentioned alternatives.
Dark web, bro. It's like Amazon for stuff you can't get in stores. Download Tor browser. Get Bitcoin from that ATM on Northern Boulevard. Package comes right to your door.
The Bitcoin ATM stood in a cramped bodega between a check cashing place and a cell phone repair shop. Anthony felt like a criminal feeding $20 bills into the machine. The process felt surreal. Downloading anonymity software in his apartment, creating accounts with fake names on websites that looked professional but sold illegal drugs. When his package finally arrived at the Stapleton post office, something felt wrong immediately. The box was heavier than expected. It rattled when shaken. Anthony's construction background, 10 years working on sketchy job sites in Queens and Brooklyn, taught him to trust instincts about things that didn't fit. He took the B-74 bus instead of walking home, paid cash instead of using his Metro card, got off 3 stops early and doubled back through the projects near Stapleton houses, changed his route twice more, cutting through parking lots behind Richmond University Medical Center, used the building's service entrance on Gordon Street instead of the main lobby on Bay Street. Inside his apartment, the package sat on his kitchen table like a ticking bomb. When he finally sliced it open with his box cutter, his hands were shaking. Instead of the familiar testosterone vials, dozens of amber bottles filled with colorful pills. Blue ones with dolphin stamps, white ones with Tesla logos. Pills that looked like candy but felt like trouble. MDMA, ecstasy. Street value over $40,000 sitting on his kitchen table. His phone buzzed. Email from Liston is here. Package mix-up. Please forward to address below. You'll be compensated $500. $500 was 2 weeks' pay. The sender seemed professional, like a business error. He thought it was an accident. It wasn't. It was recruitment. Liston deliberately sent drugs to steroid buyers, people already breaking small laws who might take the next step for easy money. Within 6 months, Anthony forwarded packages monthly, each containing thousands in drugs, each pulling him deeper into something much bigger. Here's how Liston's system worked, and why it was brilliant. Traditional drug dealing is vulnerable. Catch the customer, trace to dealer. Catch dealer, identify customers. Liston's system worked like legitimate supply chains, but for drugs. Step 1. High-quality MDMA, ketamine sourced in the UK. Step 2. Bulk shipments to reshippers in America, people like Anthony. Step 3. Reshippers forwarded individual orders to different reshippers in other states. Step 4. Final delivery to customers. This created buffers. If police caught customers, packages traced to reshipping addresses, not the UK source. Reshippers looked like dealers and took the fall. The scale was massive. MDMA to colleges, ketamine to medical professionals, benzos feeding America's anxiety epidemic, packages to US, Canada, Ireland, Jamaica, over 10,000 packages in 3 years. Some reshippers handled hundreds monthly. The genius was recruitment psychology. Liston recruited ordinary people already bending small rules, steroid users, research chemical buyers, professional communication, steady income. It felt like legitimate employment. People like Amanda Troll. Amanda Troll lived on Weatherstone Drive in suburban Raleigh, in one of those neighborhoods where driveways still had basketball hoops and neighbors knew each other's first names. She worked part-time at Carolina Medical Billing on Glenwood Avenue, drove a 10-year-old Honda Civic with a dented bumper, and had never been arrested for anything more serious than a parking ticket downtown. She was exactly what Liston needed. Methodical enough to follow complex instructions, paranoid enough about details to avoid mistakes, middle-class enough to be invisible to law enforcement, desperate enough financially to take risks for steady money. Amanda discovered Liston's operation through a research chemical forum called Chemical Planet. She'd been buying nootropics, modafinil for focus during tax season, phenylpiracetam for memory enhancement, legal gray area substances that existed between supplements and pharmaceuticals, ordered from vendors with names like Scientific Innovation and Cognitive Labs. When her regular supplier Eurochems disappeared, website gone, emails bouncing back, someone on the forum recommended Liston's service. Professional operation. Ships from Europe. Great stealth. Never had a package seized. Her first order was modest. 50 tabs of modafinil to get through busy season at work. The package arrived exactly as described. Professional vacuum sealing. No chemical smells. No obvious drug indicators. Return address from Nordic Research Solutions in Stockholm. But tucked inside with the pills was a printed note on expensive paper. Amanda struggled financially. $500 monthly sounded reasonable. The sender explained, international shipping arbitrage, European companies using local forwarders to distribute legal supplements instead of direct shipping. Made sense, felt legitimate, solved money problems. Within 6 months, Amanda became Liston's most productive agent on the East Coast. 4,200 packages over 2 years, each handled with obsessive attention to operational security. She developed a rotation system. Monday packages went to the post office on Capitol Boulevard, Tuesday to the UPS store in Cameron Village, Wednesday to FedEx on Hillsborough Street near NC State campus, Thursday back to a different post office in Cary. She never used the same location twice in 1 week. Never mailed more than 5 packages from any single address. Paid cash for everything, cycling through different clothing combinations to avoid security camera pattern recognition. Navy jacket with jeans on Monday, red sweater with khakis on Tuesday, black hoodie with leggings on Wednesday. DEA surveillance teams had been watching her operation for 8 months by January 2017. They had photos of her visiting 37 different post offices across Wake County. They knew she received bulk packages at her Weatherstone Drive address. They knew she sent individual packages from rotating locations, but they could never catch her actually possessing anything illegal. But Amanda was just a small cog in a much larger scheme. The DEA needed more evidence to get to the true mastermind. Amanda was too professionally careful. She never opened packages in public spaces, never carried drugs in her Honda longer than absolutely necessary, never used her real name on any shipping labels. She treated the entire operation like a legitimate small business, complete with spreadsheet record-keeping and customer service protocols, but drug residue accumulates. Every opened package left traces. Thousands of packages made microscopic become visible. January 15th, 2017. Amanda's Sunday trash routine. 3 heavy bags. Her latest shipment was messy. MDMA powder bags had torn. Powder spilled everywhere. She cleaned visible amounts, but crystals fell into carpet under furniture. When she vacuumed, residue went into bags. When emptied, into trash. Officer Martinez spotted surveillance cars near Willowbrook. Curiosity 1. 11:45 p.m. Garbage truck in 6 minutes. 2.5 kilograms MDMA powder in trash bags. Street value over $200,000. Thrown away like coffee grounds. Next morning, Amanda booked Romano's restaurant. Her mother's 67th birthday. 15-year tradition. At 5:30 p.m., Amanda was in her bedroom on Weatherstone Drive, getting dressed for dinner when her phone rang. Her mother, calling from Romano's parking lot on Glenwood Avenue. "I'm here early, sweetheart. The hostess says our table's ready. Should I wait in the car or go ahead and sit down?" "Go ahead and get the table, Mom. I'm leaving right now. Order us some of that bread we like." She never made it. At 5:45 p.m., as her mother was settling into their usual corner booth and ordering a glass of Chianti, federal agents from the DEA's Raleigh field office were positioning themselves around Amanda's apartment complex. At 6:00 p.m., as birthday candles were being lit at Romano's and the waiter was explaining tonight's specials, a tactical team's battering ram was splintering Amanda's front door. 130 pounds MDMA, 31 pounds ketamine, vacuum-sealed benzos, shipping supplies. Most importantly, detailed records. Amanda kept meticulous books, package tracking, customer information, everything organized like legitimate business. "I just moved packages," she told the agent. 4,200 over 2 years, told they were legal supplements. Then she provided case-cracking information. Staten Island address for final forwarding, email communications with L or Lon. Meanwhile, Amanda's mother sat alone with birthday cake. She made a wish for her daughter to call. The wish wouldn't be granted for 3 years. DEA chose direct approach. Set trap, see who walked in. The 20th of February, Brooklyn facility. Agents supervised as technicians prepared 10 pounds MDMA bait package. Street value $500,000. Professional packaging copied from seized shipments. The 23rd of February, 2:30 p.m. Unmarked van, 2 blocks from Staten Island target. 3:15 p.m., man approached. Mid-20s. Athletic. Moving with careful awareness. Anthony Coronati. Same construction worker from 18 months earlier, still thinking he helped fix shipping mistakes. Arrested 2 blocks away, package in hand. No resistance. Is this about the packages? How did he contact you initially? Email. Gmail account. Something like lonashir@gmail.com. Gmail accounts required recovery information, phone numbers, IP logs, metadata, pointing to Coventry, England. The Invisible Empire had a physical location. National Crime Agency headquarters on Spring Gardens in London doesn't look like the kind of place where international drug conspiracies get unraveled. Gray concrete building wedged between a Starbucks and a dry cleaner. Fluorescent lighting that flickers occasionally. Government furniture that might have been purchased during the Thatcher administration. But in conference room B4 on the 3rd floor, Agent Lisa Walsh was staring at intelligence that would fundamentally reshape how British law enforcement thought about dark web drug trafficking. The DEA intelligence package had arrived via encrypted diplomatic pouch 3 days earlier. Email metadata showing login locations in Coventry. Package tracking numbers originating from West Midlands postal facilities. Bitcoin wallet addresses receiving payments from customers in Ohio, Florida, Texas, and 37 other U.S. states. Most crucially, behavioral analysis suggesting a single operator running the entire transatlantic network from somewhere in the English Midlands. Walsh had been investigating online drug markets for 6 years, ever since transferring from Manchester's organized crime unit. Most operations were small-scale and local. Individual dealers selling MDMA to university students through encrypted WhatsApp groups. Cocaine suppliers using Instagram to reach customers in London's financial district. This was completely different. This was industrial-scale international distribution with corporate-level logistics. Conservative estimate, 500 kilograms MDMA over 3 years, Walsh told her team. Manufacturing-level distribution. It took 6 weeks of coordinated surveillance across Coventry's postal network to finally spot him. Male, early 30s, South Asian appearance, always well-dressed in designer casual wear. He visited different post offices daily: Coventry Central on Corporation Street, Tile Hill Branch on Jardine Crescent, Canley Post Office near the University of Warwick campus, Earlsdon on the Albany Road. Always alone, always paying cash from a thick roll of 20-pound notes, always using different fabricated return addresses. The surveillance pattern was textbook operational security. Monday morning, Coventry Central, maximum 20 packages. Tuesday afternoon, Tile Hill, different clothing, different car. Wednesday, Canley, arriving by bus instead of driving. Thursday, Earlsdon, back to the BMW but wearing a completely different outfit. Never the same location twice in the same week. Never more than 20 packages per location to avoid triggering additional scrutiny from postal workers trained to spot suspicious shipping patterns. Banmeet Singh, 33 years old. Born in Amritsar, Punjab, but UK resident since age 12 when his family immigrated to Birmingham. A simple immigrant from India, quickly realized, in the big world, you can't get rich legally. His attempts to run businesses, opening pharmaceutical companies, immediately ended in failure. Then Banmeet chose another path. He went into the shadows, hiding on the internet, the one place where he believed no one could reach him. On paper, he was completely unremarkable. Unemployed since 2016, lived in a modest two-bedroom flat on Kenilworth Road near the University of Warwick. No criminal record beyond a speeding ticket from 2014, no obvious source of income, no business registrations, no property holdings. No reason for law enforcement to pay him any attention whatsoever. Fake businesses. Antilia Trading registered to vacant lots. Blue Sky Supplements using demolished buildings. Package correlation analysis matched Coventry shipments with US reshippers. Tracking numbers from Amanda's records matched perfectly with Banmeet's locations. September 2018. Surveillance began. 6 a.m. gym, 8 a.m. Starbucks, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. post offices, evening restaurants, and bars. 18 months building airtight case against someone thinking he was invisible. The 15th of April, 2019, 3:45 a.m. 6 vehicles converged on Coventry Complex. Armed response, digital forensics, financial crimes investigators. Timing critical. Banmeet typically slept 2 a.m., woke 7 a.m. Entry teams practiced for weeks using mock apartments. 4 a.m. exactly. Door exploded inward. Banmeet woke to splintering wood. Armed police. He always ended his messages with the words, "I'm still dancing." This was Banmeet's way of emphasizing his confidence in being untouchable. But even the most cautious and pragmatic make mistakes. And Banmeet was no exception. The man who rose to become the dark web's most powerful drug lord. First instinct, correct? Roll toward computers. Reach for keyboard. One keystroke would encrypt everything. Another would wipe drives. Third would transfer cryptocurrency to untraceable wallets. 18 inches from keyboard when tackled to floor. Too late for destruction. 4 laptops. 6 smartphones. Hardware wallets. Everything unlocked and accessible. Banmeet's paranoia about physical security overlooked basics. Cryptocurrency discovery staggering. 3,838 Bitcoin, 15 million pounds, at 2019 prices. But transaction logs showed over 8,000 Bitcoin revenue. Where were the missing 4,162 Bitcoin, 20 million pounds? Email records provided answers. Regular communication with Parvinder, not customer service family discussions. Brothers talking business strategy. Parvinder Singh lived 4,000 miles away in Chandigarh, Punjab. Small business owner on paper, import-export, textile trading. But emails told different stories. Business operations, Bitcoin addresses, transfer amounts. Brothers operated as partners. Parvinder handling finances, moved 2,000 to backup wallets, keeping operational funds separate from long-term holdings. Converted 1,500 to alternative assets as insurance. Family investments secure. Indian authorities began surveillance June 2019. Modest official income. Expensive lifestyle. Financial activity suggesting hidden revenue. September 2019. Coordinated raids. Parvinder's home. Business offices. Storage facilities. Additional computers. Hardware wallets with hundreds Bitcoin. Cash in multiple currencies. Investment documents showing property purchases across India and UAE. Parvinder converted Bitcoin to traditional assets over 2 years. Real estate, gold, foreign accounts, creating safety nets, surviving even if operations were discovered. Both brothers received substantial sentences. Banmeet extradited to US, 15 years federal prison. Parvinder, 12 years Indian prison. Reshippers received lighter sentences. Anthony, 3 years. Amanda, 5 years despite cooperation. Let's return to that Raleigh garbage bag. Amanda thought throwing away residue was smart security. Clean evidence, leave no trace. But she forgot digital age rules. Everything leaves traces. Dark web hides IP addresses. Cryptocurrency obscures accounts. Fake names protect identities. But technology can't hide human habits. Need for routines, tendency toward patterns, requirements converting digital wealth to physical assets, desire sharing success with family. Banmeet built systems, moving tens of millions across continents, 3 years without detection. Professional packaging, sophisticated recruitment, international laundering, perfect digital security. It fell apart because of one Gmail account, one trash bag, one brother managing family finances, one family chat with brother. Liston network processed 10,000 packages, 500 kilograms MDMA, 200 kilograms ketamine, $50 million revenue. Dozens employed across multiple countries. UK suppliers, US reshippers, Indian financial managers, customers everywhere except Antarctica. All brought down by human error. Not hacking, not surveillance technology, not intelligence cooperation. A Gmail account, a garbage bag, and universal truth that perfect systems don't exist because humans aren't perfect. The case changed how law enforcement investigates dark web trafficking, international cooperation standard, cryptocurrency analysis routine. But it revealed something fundamental. In ages of digital anonymity, weak points aren't technology, it's psychology. Human needs for connection, trust, shared success. Banmeet could have run operations alone, kept all profits, maintained perfect isolation. But humans aren't built for isolation. We want sharing successes, trusting family, building something bigger. That brought down the internet's most sophisticated drug operation. Not technology failing, the humanity behind it succeeding.